First question is, why does my media mix model fail to drive meaningful value? So this is a question we get all the time. Lots of brands that come to us are already investing in a pretty integrated media mix model to help kind of high level budget allocation decisions, strategic decisions, so on and so forth. The issue with these models is that they are generally refreshing on too slow of a cadence to actually be used for day-to-day optimization, day-to-day media decisions, which is kind of the whole point, or at least supposed to be their point in the first place. So when the refresh cycle is really slow, you're usually only looking at data, let's say a quarter in the rears, and by that point, oftentimes the opportunity to optimize is already gone. The other huge issue with that is that models become very difficult to maintain and manage when you're only updating them on a quarterly basis. The analogy I like to use, it would be like you were watering a garden only once a quarter. By the time you show up, all of the plants would look pretty dead. You would have no idea which ones need the water first, how much water each one needs. It's kind of a guessing game each time to getting the model back into let's say, a healthy state ahead of each refresh. It's far easier to do this on an ongoing basis, which I'll touch a little bit more on later. The second issue with most MMMs is that they're not granular enough. Budget planning from a strategic level and actual real world operational execution generally operate on two very different altitudes. So you might have great insights coming from an MMM that are sitting way up here in the sky. And then when you try and relay those down to the folks that are actually kind of boots on ground and hands on keyboard, none of it makes any sense and none of it is in terms they can understand. And ultimately the insights don't end up getting used. The third big reason, and perhaps the greatest reason, is that MMMs typically give you an average impact of a given media channel over an entire time period, generally the entire modeling time period. So it's not telling you how what you did to change your execution or what you changed strategically within a given media channel actually impacted performance. It's still generally just giving you, on average, when I spend another dollar on this media channel, how much does it pay back? Again, perhaps useful for very high-level strategic decision-making, but not very informative on a day-to-day basis and actually informing day-to-day decisions. The last point I'll make, and this is probably the most important, especially in the day and age we live today, where basically all media channels are interactive with one another and codependent with one another, is that MMMs are not inherently causal. They are a regression model. Basically, they are a correlation model. They're looking at how variation in your media over time correlates to variation in your business outcomes. Now, on the surface, this is not a terrible way to approach the problem, but like I said, in today's day and age, everything is correlated, everything is collinear. You really need some type of causal input in order for these models to be credible in the first place, and that's where incrementality measurement and experimentation has become so important, and that's why it's one of the key things we focus on at Measured. So to sum it all up, the point of measurement really is to figure out what's working right now and what to do about it. And more traditional media mix model products are really not designed to satisfy this problem statement.